Strike Zone, Exiled versus NL Esports, aka Infinix, and then the last matchup is going to be Tragic versus Tribe Gaming. That'll definitely be our matchup of the night. Definitely keep an eye out for that one. But we do have both teams loaded in, and they're actually all readied up, so we are good to go for game number 1 of the night.
All right. Definitely should be an exciting one, Bobby. It has been a pretty long weekend for us past, but getting right back into it, this should be a pretty good matchup between Gravity and Fierce. Fierce, obviously, a team that has been performing at the top of all of Mobile Mayhem. I mean, they're the only team that is currently undefeated at their 7-0 markings. However, Gravity has kind of really made a bit of a splash, so we'll have to see if they're able to take a match here or even potentially win, but not a great start for them as his Shadow picking up 4 for his team.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is quite a start right there. Only 2 kills coming in off the start for Gravity. Is going to be some easy time on the hill for this Fierce team, and looking to maintain as we see Shadow winning yet another gunfight, 5 kills in, and seeming to be untouchable right now. He's going to pick up number 6 and absolutely frying as Fierce looking like they are continuing to be in prime form. 8 kills, 0 deaths for Shadow right now. I would not be surprised if he potentially moves back a little bit and starts to play more passive. We do see him getting taken out right there, unfortunately. But that should...
No nuke content.
Yeah, no nuke content for him, and spawning out away from that next hard point. Play the objective.
Yeah, we do have Gravity trying to make a rotation over. Renounce is able to pick off Cello there, but Ninja is able to pick up main mic with the shotgun there. Gravity actually find themselves a couple kills. I don't know if it's going to be enough for them to really create themselves a lot of distance, as we do have Sneaking making the rotation in, but he will get dropped by Ivan, and this is actually a big opportunity for Gravity to start picking up some points. Yusa finds a key double for the team there, picking up Renounce and Raballo as well, so Gravity, they definitely have a chance where they could tie things up here. Sneaky, obviously playing the Resun Sniper here, finds 1, and we do find 2, we find 3! Sneaky able to walk on through, and with about 24 health was able to clear out the entire objective.
Yeah, with that, we are going to have Gravity trying to make the rotation toward next, but as we can see, Fierce already perfectly set up, and it's going to make things very difficult, especially with Sneaky hitting the shots he's hitting right now. He's going to take out Ivan as well. Mike filling up the feed. Sneaky finds another, wants to take out Cello right there. He's actually going to hit Marker. Sneaky tries to make the pistol swap, but it's not going to happen. At this stage in the game, not looking like it's going to make too much of a difference, as we do have Fierce once again occupying the hard point. We got Raballo actually going to lose that gunfight to Ivan. That's going to be big, as that will actually allow Gravity to take control of the hard point for the time being. However, Shadow's got an Annihilator out, looking to make the push in, burning from the Thermite, not really hopping out of it until he's all the way down to 19 HP, and now will look to make the move up. His teammates fighting for that hard point. They will be able to take control, and the lead for Fierce will continue to grow.
Yeah, Fierce has been doing a phenomenal job, but in all due respect, Gravity have also found quite a few gunfights as well. Ivan sitting with 9 kills, Yuso 7. The rest of the team are definitely struggling a little bit behind in comparison to the likes of Shadow with 15, Main Mike with 11, Sneaky with 10 as well. So 3 members of the side of Fierce in double digits. Everybody on the side of Gravity struggling to match that feat, as we do have a 98 score for the side of Fierce now. Moving on over to the bakery, we do have Gravity set up, but Raballo's able to pick 1 off with the Annihilator there, finds a 2nd as well, finds a 3rd. Oh man, this Fierce team is just on it today.
Yeah, that was a pretty feat. Oh, and he gets the collat right there onto Yusa and B-Thug as well, and things just not going the way of Gravity right now. Mike pulling out his Annihilator as well. That's going to make things even more difficult. He's going to call in the Pred Missile, take 2 off of Tank, and that will pretty much completely eliminate the push, although we do actually have a couple players already on site for Gravity. Sneaky actually up at the top side trying to take out a couple. He'll drop Yusa. Tries to land the shot onto Ivan, but it won't happen. But right now, it is
super interesting use out of the assault shield here.
Yeah, and the assault shield,
the ballistic shield.
I feel like that's something that we're going to start seeing more, especially in Hardpoint, because if you play it right, you can basically just set up in a corner and spray and hope nobody's got any thermite or RPG to counter it with. But picking up where we left off, Mike now up to 16 kills. He's got full streaks. Given the kill disparity right now, a little bit surprising that the game is as close as it is. Only 30 points separating these teams, but everybody in double digits for Fierce and multiple players now approaching the 20 kill mark as we do see some of those operators and score streaks start to come in. Obviously, the cluster strike, one of the primary ones we do see, especially in Hardpoint where all players are trying to congregate in that one area. We now have Renounce pushing in with an Annihilator of his own. Here's the Annihilator from the opposing team. Actually lands a shot through the smoke. Already up to 19 kills is Shadow, and the score streaks will continue to reign in, as it looks like Fierce not too concerned about playing the objective right now.
Yeah, I mean, Fierce honestly kind of feels like they're having fun with it at this point. Main Mike just hitting 20 kills. Shadow, 20 kills. Rapallo at 18 himself. Sneaky and Renounce a little bit behind, but I mean, not really, I would say, at their fault, just with how many kills Main Mike, Shadow, and Raballo are sweeping up here. I mean, all at 21 across the board. We do finally have most players of Gravity getting into double digits. The only one trailing behind a little bit at this point is Ninja, but I mean, again, top fragger for the side of Gravity, 14 kills. Bottom fragger for the side of Fierce, 12. Not an ideal position to be in. I think that matchup actually should have been score-wise more one-sided towards the side of Fierce, but we did have a couple really good holds, especially again with that ballistic shield coming out of I believe it was B-Thug. They were able to hold down a lot of time on Bakery as well. So it was a good attempt there from Gravity. We'll have to see if they're able to turn things around for Search and Destroy, which will be our second matchup or our second game of the first matchup of the night.
Yep, and that's, I mean, that's just going to continue to allow this Fierce roster to build the lead that they already had, as you can see. Doubling up on NL Esports, a.k.a. Infinix, so far in Division 1. And if you're Gravity, this is a matchup where you would really love to be able to get at least one, but based on how that one went, seeming relatively unlikely right now. They're currently in 4th place. 20 points behind Tragic, 30 points behind Tribe Gaming and Nova Imperium. And just a heads up, we did have some issues with a player from the XSET roster last week. As a result, 40 points have been deducted from XSET, and in addition, they have been suspended for 2 games, so they will not be making any appearances. Just a heads up on that. Obviously, they are not scheduled to play in tonight's games, as we only play 5 of the 6 games, so it'll be an automatic, I believe, plus 10 points for the 2 teams they would have played in. Correct. Gene Gaming and Strike Zone, I believe, was the other one. But yep, just waiting for Renounce to ready up, and we should be good to go for game number 2. For those of you still wondering what the schedule is for the rest of the night, we will roll through that relatively quickly right here, right before we hop into game 2, which is going to be Search and Destroy on Meltdown.
Yeah, and if I was going to bet on this one, I would say this is very likely going to end up being a quick 2-0 victory for the side of Fierce. Fierce have been playing absolutely just out of their minds, toppling the other giants as well that were obviously here for Mobile Mayhem in, Infinix, Nova Imperium, formerly Turbulence, now Tragic. So Fierce have been doing exceptionally well. Gravity have definitely been struggling to find their momentum. It's definitely still possible for them to come through with something here, but it would be a pretty massive uphill battle if they were to do so. So far, it's a 2-for-2 trade. Just as I say that, it becomes a 3-for-3, and it's now Raballo and Sneaky up against the likes of Ninja and Ivan. It's actually a really big opening for Gravity, because again, I would have openly just given Fierce the advantage here, and Gravity have done a great job holding their own.
And Sneaky lands a beautiful shot onto Ivan that will give a man advantage to Fierce, and now Ninja all by himself. The plant is going to go in over onto the B site for Raballo, and the pressure is on. Sneaky obviously holding these back angles. He's going to try to hop up into the sniper's nest, and he will manage to pick up a QQ9 right here. We'll see if Raballo catches the push in from Ninja, as looks like he's going top generators right here. Raballo with the perfect positioning. That's going to be an easy frag for him. And Fierce will go up 1-0 off the start.
Yeah, and Fierce, a good opening coming off of their win there in that last matchup. Again, Gravity was actually able to find quite a few kills there, especially early on. Ninja was able to get a double kill, Yusa picking up a third for the team. However, again, Fierce is kind of the top dog of Mobile Mayhem right now. They have been playing exceptionally well, and even without Forsaken, they are obviously a team to certainly be reckoned with, as Shadow is able to pick up the headshot there onto Yusa. That's going to give a one-player advantage now for the side of Fierce, and it's a lot of opportunity for Fierce to start making their rotation up. But Ivan finds a double.
That's going to be a big double, evened up at 2 apiece, and just like that, Raballo is able to find Ninja. Fierce once again at the advantage. B-Thug's going to need to clutch the 1v2. He's able to take out Sneaky right there, so the door is open. Raballo's got to make the decision whether to plant or try to maybe make a rotation over to A. It looks like right now he is still favoring that B site, waiting for B-Thug to make a move, and we may potentially not even see him attempt to go for the plant right here, especially in a 1v1 situation. He's going to be able to land the shots, and once again, he will be the player clutching up for Fierce, and that will now allow them to move up to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and Fierce, they've got to be feeling good off that, especially with Raballo able to clutch up for them there. Shadow doing exceptional as well. 3 kills on the board for Shadow, 4 for Raballo. Sneaky been able to make use of that sniper and pick off a couple kills as well, so keep an eye out for him in these coming up rounds. It's actually kind of surprising that we have a side push coming out of the side of Fierce, because typically we would favor the range fights to go more in favor of B, but with Gravity being able to hold their own a little bit, maybe they've just taken that opportunity. But one way or another, Sneaky is able to find that final kill, and it's a 3-0 lead now for the side of Fierce.
Yeah, they've been 100% in control so far. Cello's still looking to pick up that first kill. Mike and Renounce only with 1 kill apiece, but primarily just because they haven't been finding the people in time, as their teammates have been fragging out. And they actually have Shadow making a very interesting push all the way through bottom of mid. If he can get the flank onto A site, this could be really big value for him, as you can see nobody really set up to counter this. Yusa taking shots, he'll drop right there. Fortunately for them, Ivan is able to turn, and we now got Sneaky pushing up, trying to get a pick of his own. Ivan's going to be the only player remaining for Gravity right here. The A plant will go in for Fierce, and just like that, he's going to get shut down by Renounce peeking through the manhole, and that will be a 4-0 lead for Fierce, who's looking like this could be a quick 2-0 to once again continue to extend that already massive lead in Division 1.
And again, this has been a dominant team all season long. We came out of Season 3, really expecting Infinex to come through at the top as like kind of the top dog of the tournament, right? They had a really strong performance in the previous 2 seasons during the open seasons, did struggle a little bit in the finals, but then out of nowhere, Fierce, I mean, yes, we've obviously had some roster changes, but even then, some of the players on Fierce who were good players before have, over the course of just a couple weeks' time, just really become stars in Mobile Mayhem. Looking at the likes of Shadow, obviously playing incredible today. Raballo, a phenomenal player. Forsaken has just, I mean, again, really been an MVP of the season for me, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that moving forward. Right now, we actually do have a big opportunity for Gravity. They have a player advantage. Ivan will survive with 1 HP there as Yusa gets to kill on Renounce. Shadow is now down as well, and that will be the first round going over to the side of Gravity.
Yeah, that's big for them, mainly just to avoid the skunk. Nobody likes getting skunked, so they're able to dodge a little bit of a bullet. And even though Gravity has been one of the breakout teams this season, probably as one of the newer teams, not a whole lot expected from them. Fierce, just so many great players on this roster, and definitely expecting to see them in the finals representing Division 1. Infinix While they are definitely a phenomenal team, just haven't really been up to what we've come to expect from them so far this season. So we'll be interested to see how it plays out. We actually have a man advantage once again for Gravity. Renounce, however, picking up a 2-piece. Right as I say that, Sneaky sliding the corner, trying to find a pick for himself, and I think they may have the B site all for themselves. They get a peek from the side out of B-Thug, but he's not going to be able to land the shot here, and now all by himself, looking to clutch up, actually pulls out the Akimbo Deagles for a second, and he's going to get spotted around the corner. What a shot onto Sneaky. An absolute beauty, and he had the right angle but couldn't land the shot. The dark scope, the 2-piece! Raballo drops, B-Thug clutches the 1v3. Oh my gosh.
That was a really big play coming out of B-Thug. He did turn the corner, and unfortunately I thought it was going to go really poorly for him, because when he first came across Sneaky, he just blatantly missed the quickscope on Sneaky, who was standing still, and it was to his back. But he was able to make a really excellent rotation all the way around back, and as you mentioned, was able to pick up the 3-piece for his team, and clutched up at just the right time. I mean, that was a 4-round advantage going over to the side of Fierce, and Gravity had been able to turn back-to-back rounds in their favor, thanks to the clutch from B-Thug there. 6 kills on the board for him, 6 for Ivan as well. And again, this Gravity team, you know, they may be struggling a little bit here back and forth, but they are definitely a team that has potential and has a lot of skill. And I definitely can't wait to see them develop a little bit more here in Mobile Mayhem, as Cello is able to slide the corner, find Sneaky, Ninja finds Renounce, Cello finds Shadow as well for a double for himself.
And honestly, Gravity is looking phenomenal right now. They're dismantling this Fierce team, and the 4-0 lead for Fierce has very, very quickly dwindled, as they now only lead by 1 round, and they have just seemed a little bit confused over on the defensive side. We'll see if Gravity can continue to push this and see if maybe they could potentially make a comeback happen right here. Is on the back of that 1v3 from B-Thug, we see him picking up another frag right there. Ivan finds one onto Sneaky. They've got a man advantage once again. Main Mike is hurting. He's not going to be able to win his gunfight. 2-man advantage once again as Yusa wins his. It's going to be Raballo all by himself. He catches B-Thug away from his teammates, so he'll be able to win the gunfight. But Cello will spot Raballo up there. He's now put himself back into a corner. He's able to win that first gunfight. He's not going to be able to win the gunfight. First is Cello, and 4 rounds in a row going over to Gravity just like that. We're looking like we may potentially see a Game 3.
Yeah, we absolutely could. 4 rounds in a row went to Fierce, then 4 in a row go back on over to the side of Gravity. About 66% of the way to a Gravity win here if they're able to pick up 2 more rounds, so we will have to see. Ninja does have the bomb, and we have a pretty aggressive A-side push once again coming out of the side of Gravity. They are getting set up. Ninja's going to go ahead and get the plant. This is a really big opportunity for Gravity, because if they are able to win this round, they'll go into the next round with the planter's advantage as well, and it looks like that could potentially be the case, as Ivan and B-Thug are each able to pick up a kill. In the smoke, Ivan picks up another as well, or in the flash. But Raballo and Shadow are alive. They could make a 2v4 comeback happen here, but Ivan and B-Thug have just been popping off for the side of Gravity. And this is certainly not what I would have expected moving on into this matchup.
Yeah, Gravity. Woo. Just 5 rounds in a row in complete control. B-Thug is still in the flow state right now as we see him 9 kills on the board, and Ivan with 10 for himself. Fierce has just really fallen apart for these last few rounds, and if they can't muster something on the defensive side right here, it is going to be a win in Search and Destroy for Gravity, and we'll actually be going to a 3rd game, which prior to those first 4 rounds seemed like there was pretty much 0 chance it was going to happen, as Fierce had been in complete control for the entire time. Shadow finally able to get a first blood, which we have not seen in a hot minute for Fierce, and now some pressure applied. We do get the bomb plant going down. B-Thug's not going to be able to land that shot, and Renounce finds another frag. Ivan finally able to get the trade, but players dropping left and right. Ivan not going to be able to win that gunfight. Fierce finally able to win one right there. And with that, they'll actually be switching back to the offensive side, where they have seemed much much stronger for the entirety of this matchup. So it's going to be interesting to see how the momentum of Gravity goes up against the offensive firepower of Fierce.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, we do have Fierce on offense now as well. That does play a little bit more into their offensive play style, just because of how aggressive that they do play together as a team. Obviously, Shadow has been doing exceptional today. It does look like we're probably going to end up getting a free B-side plant coming out of the side of Fierce. It's going to give them an opportunity to set up. Gravity now have to make that rotation over. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Gravity made an A-side defensive rotation to start. Just, knowing that we're up against Fierce, who have had such strong B-side pushes. I do believe one of the rounds in the last half, we were getting an A-side push coming out of Fierce, but overall, a lot of B-side presence. Rabalo and Renounce each find one. Main Mike finds a third, and the near Cinderella story of Gravity bringing us to a game 3 has been closed out in round 11 as Fierce are able to turn things around and bring it all together. Find their 6th point.
Yeah, and just an unfortunate game plan, and also just too slow of a retake for Gravity right there. They didn't make contact with anybody from Fierce until there were only 30 seconds on the clock. With that amount of time, you just put too much pressure on yourself, and especially to try to get a 5-man retake up against a team like Fierce that's already going to be set up on their head glitches and everything else. It's just going to be too tall of a task, and with that, we will have the win. 2-0 going over to Fierce, and like we said, that'll put them even further up in the standings. That should move them up to 140 points, 80 points ahead of NL Esports, who is very much going to be looking to get a 2-0 win tonight. But with their matchup up against Exiled, who has been really good as of late, not going to be an easy one. That's going to be a really important one to watch. Up next, we do have Violence versus Fearless. Taking a look at the standings once again. Violence, one of those teams vying for the top 3 spots, with XSET being sent all the way back down to 0. Their road to the playoffs is starting to look a whole lot easier, with Strike Zone being the next closest team, 30 points back, and they will be going up against I'm Fearless, who is in their same defense. I've been grinding for Damascus all day long, so my brain is completely fried. But yeah, definitely going to be another great one to watch.
Yeah, definitely should be. And if you are Gravity, this is, although it was a 2-0 victory for Fierce, that was a really hard-fought search and destroy. I definitely think Gravity
I'm gonna grab a
can walk off the field there with that, and really kind of to hold themselves to a high standard on their performance here today. Ivan with 11 kills on the board, B-Thug with 6. Ninja, Cello, Yusa all definitely a little bit behind the leaderboard there, but competing right there with Sneaky and Main Mike as well for kills. So overall, Gravity, excellent performance here today. Definitely much closer search and destroy matchup than I expected that to be, especially after those first 4 rounds went so heavily in favor of Fierce. So again, I think Gravity definitely a team that some of these other teams should definitely take seriously in search and destroy. Looking at teams like Infinex and Nova Imperium, who have been struggling a little bit compared to last season. Definitely a lot of opportunity for Gravity to make some upsets if they're able to keep playing like they did today. We'll be getting all of the players in here for you guys so we can get you guys into the next matchup as soon as possible. Looks like we're just waiting on one more player to get in the lobby, and then obviously everybody to ready up. So just a few short minutes, we should have this one on the road.
All right, getting our next 2 teams loaded in, Fearless versus Violence. We do have, I believe Fearless may have been one of the teams that actually was the recipient of some of the free XSET points. I can't remember. I know they actually put up a really good fight. I think it was a couple weeks ago. We were not expecting them to do a whole lot, and then I remember Lethal popping off in Search and Destroy, and I think they were able to get a win against either Fierce or Tribe. I think it was Tribe. But yeah, this team definitely has been one of the underdogs of the season, but they have made some really big plays throughout the season. So I'm super pumped to watch these guys hop into the action. We are good to go. Game number 1, it is going to be Hardpoint Crash.
Absolutely. This is one that we see quite a bit end up be one-sided just due to how punishing the map rotation can be, as well as the respawns. If you are the team that loses out on some of those gunfights when the objective moves on to P3 and P4, so definitely be keeping an eye out for some of the anchor rotations. We do have Lethal picking up first kill of the game, but will be Shield answering back with a return kill on, or another kill onto Velo. This has been a actually pretty good start. Will just spawned into a trip mine. That was pretty epic.
And Shield's actually going to pick up a nice 2-piece right there. I'm not really sure what Beetle's approach was right there, but he knew his teammates had control of top 3-story, so I guess kind of waiting for players to rotate through bottom. Obviously, with top 3-story control, it is going to be very, very easy for Shield to pick up some easy frags as he tries to catch this Violence team making some rotations, and Violence looking very, very sluggish off the start. 4 players with 1 kill or less. Forbid the only player able to muster anything more than that so far, and despite the fact that they're one of the newer teams and have struggled a little bit this season, Fearless just looking really, really strong off the start as they've not only got a 28-point lead, but control of 3-story as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, for the likes of some of these players, there's definitely some that, you know, again, we've seen the performances in the past, maybe with some off-meta weapons that I would really like to see them use a little bit more. So Velo is one that we talked about weeks and weeks and weeks in a row, Bobby, about the use of the Kilo with the iron sights. Was really popping off and actually did a phenomenal job against some of the stronger teams in the league as well. So definitely would like to see Velo maybe see if he can get that working for him again. I mean, you know, obviously players evolve and change over time, so maybe he's drifted away from that, but it was always a fun performance to watch out of those guys. So Forbid right now leading his team with 8 kills on the board as he picks up a kill onto Shield. But still anybody's game. Man, Will cannot catch a break, man. Will has died to 3 respawn trip mines at this point. Pretty rough.
Oh, and you think at that point he would just go ahead and make the switch to maybe a hardwired class, but if he doesn't have one on, then that makes life extra difficult as the trip mines becoming more and more effective for this Fearless team. And we did have Violence able to pick up some time on the hill.
Will, oh my god, he died.
Did it? I'm just gonna watch him. I know. I'm so shocked that he's the only person that this is happening to. Unless just everybody. Let's see. He's taking a second. Okay, didn't die to a spawn trip mine right there. Excellent for him.
It's 4 of his deaths.
And we do have Violence finally getting some time on the hill, closing this gap a little bit. That P3 going by very, very quickly. It seems like we just made the rotation over there, but with that happening, East and Shield already in double digits for Fearless, both looking really good so far. It's going to be pretty close to a tie game heading out of P3, but we do have Fearless set up very well. 2 players, make it 3 players on site. I believe we have Lazary down below trying to make the rotation, but East is going to knock a player off the top of side building right there. And with that, Fearless perfectly set up with Violence spawning all the way across the map right now. It's going to be a long rotation to make, and probably only really going to be worth maybe 1 significant counter push for them. If they're able to get the break right here, which may very well happen with Lazary pulling out the Annihilator, unfortunately for them, he's going to end up dropping, lots of Violence players dropping as a matter of fact, and more than likely, pretty soon they're going to be forced to go ahead and make that push over to P5 and settle for the setup over there.
Yeah, we will have to see. And P4 and P5 on this map are incredibly difficult to break, and again, incredibly punishing on the respawns as well. So we will likely see the anchor rotations coming on early for a couple of these teams. It'll be about who wins the gunfight, and so far it is looking like Fearless are going to be the ones to make the rotation over. But just as I say that, that's a triple, make that a quad coming through for the side of Violence. Will once again gets obliterated by the respawn trip mine. I feel so bad for Will right now, Bobby. It's so rough, man.
You really do hate to see it, and this game seeming to be in complete control of Fearless right now. We've got East finding another frag. He's got 18 kills. No, not 18. 21 kills in a game of Hardpoint. And the game's still only like 2/3 of the way done. He could very well move up to 30 kills before this is finished, which is impressive to do in a game of domination, much less a game of Hardpoint. So they will not quite be able to win it on this one. We will be sent back to a P1, and East going to die on the inside of yellow to a Pred missile right there. Taking a look at Will, seeing if he has any more unfortunate situations with trip mines. As right now, the kill feed is just all Fearless, and Will gonna drop to the Annihilator right there. He will survive the respawn, fortunately for him, but Steezy, now with an Annihilator in hand himself, has not used any of his score streaks, and seeming like this may be an impossible comeback attempt for Violence.
Certainly it feels that way, as we do have 146 on the board for Fearless. It's a really rough spot to be in if you are the side of Violence, just because you can not only not allow any trickle points at the beginning of a hard point, you also can't allow any of those trickle points at the end, as we do see Fearless closing out round 1 of this match too. Pretty commanding lead as well. So I mean, moving into this matchup, I actually think I would have given Violence the edge, but Fearless just really popped off. I mean, East had a heck of a game. I mean, just looking at the leaderboards, I mean, you know, I was obviously mentioning it quite a bit through that matchup. Will had 16 deaths, and 7 of them were from trip mines that he spawned on. Pretty rough situation to be in. It definitely leaves you at a bit of a hindrance when you essentially are stuck on respawn for that long. Not able to assist your team, not able to make the rotations. You're locked out for another, 6 seconds. So definitely a big advantage that East was able to provide his team there. 23-9-3 for him.
Yeah, he absolutely popped off in that one. And like we said, Violence is a team that is right now in contention for the top 3 in Division 1. Fearless, I don't think has gotten a match win so far in Mobile Mayhem, but they just looked absolutely phenomenal. And we had seen flashes of this in previous matchups against some of the top teams that we didn't really expect them to put up much of a fight against. So this could very well be a team, at this point, being where they are in the standings, it's unlikely that they'll be able to make it into the playoffs, but definitely going to be a team that we want to watch out for heading into future Mobile Mayhem seasons, as they have looked really good right now.
Yeah, they absolutely have. And there's been a lot of teams that really came through and shined kind of from the bottom of the pack in this matchup, or in this season, I mean. You know, the likes of Gravity has done exceptionally well. Fearless, obviously, popping off pretty hard right now. So definitely going to have to keep an eye out for them. Definitely had some teams struggling as well on the opposite end of the spectrum that we didn't expect to see struggling as much as we have. Nova Imperium not having the games that we would have expected them to. Infinex not having the games that we would expect them to. So it really could still go any way. We have a lot of teams, specifically in Division 2, that are still fighting for that number 3 spot. We have a lot of teams within 10 points over there. So really, really big opportunity for Division 2 things to shake up this week, as well as a couple in Division 1. Forbid, what a crazy drag that was, where he was able to find Lethal just between the cracks of the corners of the buildings there.
Yep, that will be a nice first blood for Violence. Will taking shots right here. He's going to be able to survive for now. Teammates laying down some counterfire, and he'll be able to hop into the treehouse with the... actually, East is going to be able to take out Beetle. Same amount of players remaining for each team, and We saw Riots hopping up, trying to maybe get an angle. He wasn't able to spot anybody yet. And the advantage that we saw Violence have off the start now completely eliminated is we do have Beetle dropping. We will have the A plant going in for Velo right here. Should be a pretty easy one for him. And now the retake is forced for Fearless. We'll see what they can do right here. We actually have Forbid taking out Shield as well. That's going to make things much more difficult.
Wow.
Riots and Steezy going to be the only players remaining. Lazarus going to be able to take out Steezy. Riot's all by himself. We've seen him make some clutches before. He's going to take shots on to Will, but Forbid is waiting for him. Shuts it down right there. And it will be Violence taking the lead off the start, 1-0.
Yeah, and Violence definitely need that because Fearless had a dominating win in the first round there that we had on a Hardpoint Crash. So Violence definitely need to turn things around. Violence, they've kind of been in a interesting spot in this tournament. There's some days that we really see them show up and other days that we don't. And I'm going to say Fearless keep playing the way they did in round one. This may be one of those days that we just don't see Violence show up. And Fearless kind of taking a little bit of that energy and momentum. Despite it going over to Violence, I mean, it was Forbid picking up 4.
Yeah.
So definitely big carry from Forbid in that first round. As we did have 3 kills picked up by the side of Fearless, and still anybody's game. Velo does pick up the headshot onto East, but gets traded out immediately for Steezy. Steezy almost able to help save his teammate, but just barely not in time, able to find the bullets to connect.
Yep, in the immediate trade will keep things even, but the plant going in. Oh, Lethal, what a shot onto Beetle right there. Must have just barely found him around the plant as it seemed like he had the right positioning, but maybe positioned a little bit too far to the right. He's going to take out Forbid as well. This is something we've seen him do before in Search and Destroy in the past against teams that we really felt like there was no reason for Fearless to be anywhere close to. Lazarus going to be all by himself in a 1v3. He's not going to be able to land the shot. Steezy's going to take him out right there, and looking like even despite a little bit of a slow start, Fearless picking up where they left off in that first game of Hardpoint, and Forbid not able to make things happen the way he did in round number 1, and they'll be able to even things up at 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was much more the Fearless that we saw in round 1 there. Now, obviously in Search and Destroy, this can go any which way still. I mean, our first matchup of the night, Bobby, was Fierce 4-0 over Gravity, and that went all the way into a round 11 with 5 rounds in a row going to the side of Gravity there. And I don't think anybody would have placed Gravity into a round 11 up against Fierce in Search and Destroy, but again, it just goes to show how important some of those picks are. Lethal was able to pick up 2 kills early in that last round, which really helped out the team. Unable to find any this round, but we did have Riots and Steezy assisting last round as well. Still a lot of opportunity, but unfortunately for them right now, Violence have the bomb planted. It is now Fearless working against the clock. About 35 seconds on the board to find 5 and a defuse.
We have a very interesting move for Forbid, actually hopping up into the top of the tower. So with 2 players dropping for Violence right here, this is not really a great spot for him to be. Velo's going to drop right here. This could be a really easy... That's a 100... What? That's the easiest defuse that you're ever going to see. I don't really know what Forbid's game plan was right there, because with the plant down, typically what you want to do is help your teammates protect the bomb, but he positioned himself about as far away as he could be, and that's just going to be a really easy round right there for Fearless, as they perfected the retake and just managed to catch Forbid off guard. Another easy round going over to them.
I mean, it didn't look that way to start. I mean, that was a really big clutch up that they were able to make there. They were down a player. They had 5 to fight against. They were able to find 4, got the quick defuse. As you mentioned, Forbid kind of just in a rough place for that defense. I mean, I don't think he expected all 4 of his teammates to die at once.
Yeah.
So kind of just a rough situation as far as positioning goes. I don't even want to say it was a misplay on his part. Just kind of the way everything fell together didn't leave him a lot of opportunities. So We'll have to see moving forward if they're able to change anything for this round, as we do have Velo getting the bomb plant, but Beetle was the first to fall in this round. So with bomb down, we do have 40 seconds on the board. Fearless have the opportunity to make the rotation over. They are up a player, or were up a player. Now it is a 4-4.
And Velo with just a beauty onto Lethal, but unfortunately... Oh, he's going to be able to win the pistol gunfight against Steezy, but he's all by himself as Shield shuts him down from that backside, and Fearless looking invincible right now as 3 rounds in a row. They're able to shut down, even with the initial plans going over to Violence. Just perfect retakes from them time and time again. Consistency across the board. Nobody below 3 kills through 4 rounds in. That is something you love to see as a team. And Beetle, Lazary, and Will all down at 1 kill or less. Got to get contributions out of all your players if you're going to have a shot. And no first bloods coming in so far. But right now, Fearless looking really, really good in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, Fearless have been looking really strong today as a whole. That first round that we saw them in Hardpoint crash was very, very one-sided, with East being a pretty massive carry for the team. Right now, I mean, this has really showed how much this team has come together, at least for today, is all across the board. 3-3, 4-3, and 3 for the kills on the side of Fearless. Meanwhile, looking over at the side of Violence, we do have Forbid with 5, Velo with 3, but the rest of the team's certainly struggling. Will, Beetle, Lazary all with 1 or 0 kills, so definitely need to see them turn things around if Violence want to have a chance here.
Yeah, and they're getting a little more aggressive right now. They are going to send in the smoke as they look to make the A plant, or the B plant, but not really making any progress with that smoke. And with that, it's going to allow Fearless to make the rotation. They're now going to be forced back to the other site. As you can see, we do have Fearless now setting up to make the rotation for the counter, and Lethal will be able to set up inside American right there. Very nearly lands the shot onto Beetle. He will have players rotating from back of trailer, but not able to get the first blood as the pressure is now on. The bomb has been planted over on the A site. You can actually see the foot right there. I'm surprised he doesn't go up onto the hop up and land the easy hit marker, but Shield will find the opening kill onto Will, and once again, things are opened up. They have seemed to be perfect with their smoke so far. It looks like it's going to be another easy defuse as Lethal is all by himself on the bomb site. We see Forbid and Lazary once again caught out of position, and the mistakes just continue to stack up for this Violence team as they find themselves down 4.
Certainly, that specific defuse should not have gone so easily over to the side of Fearless. That was a big misplay on the side of Violence. They had 2 players rotating over. Neither of them checked bomb, and the really risky defuse actually ends up working out for the side of Fearless. They take a 4-1 lead here over the side of Violence, coming off of a very, very commanding Hardpoint win as well. So they keep up this momentum, they absolutely could close this out 2-0. We already have a incredibly fast B bomb plant, and now with 5 on the board, 4 on the board, make that as Forbid it does.
Oh, this nade. Oh, I thought for sure he was going to get a triple right there. Lethal perfectly predicted the 3 players making the push toward the B site. It actually looks like Violence has a shot at clutching up right here, but East and Steezy making the kills come through. Forbid's going to be all by himself. He's only got 10 seconds to take out 2 players. It's not going to be enough right now. And what was a 4v2 push ends up turning out once again in favor of Fearless. They're able to go up 5-1. That is 5 rounds in a row, and looking like they could shut down this Violence team with a 2-0 win right here.
Yeah, and they absolutely could, but I mean, that first matchup between Gravity and Fierce is enough to show that this still could be anybody's game. 5 rounds in a row going over to the side of Fearless here could absolutely change, and Violence could do the same for themselves if they're able to pick up the pace a little bit. Forbid is doing extremely well for the team. 8 kills on the board. Looks like we're going to get a plant coming out of Lethal, but we do have a player advantage currently on the side of Violence, as well as Lethal does stop the defuse as he has taken quite a massive amount of damage. It's now a 1 versus 3. This may be the round that Violence need to turn things around as Forbid is able to pick up that final kill. maybe shaking up the momentum here a little bit of Fearless. Maybe they can start to shift things back in their favor. Maybe they can get a regroup here and try to potentially push us into a game 11 and potentially a game 3. Because again, if we drop a game at this, or if we drop a single round at this point for the side of Violence, it's a 2-0 victory for the side of Fearless. That's 20 points, which Fearless obviously desperately need, as well as Violence. So this is a surprisingly important game between these two teams.
And a little bit of a stream crash right there, but I believe we are back and ready to see if we do have a Violence comeback on our hands. Forbid, 9 kills, 100%, putting this team on his back so far, and they have looked stronger on the defensive side. We'll see if he can find the first blood right here to maybe slow down the push of Fearless. He's going to round the corner, try to find somebody inside of Wood. East trying to peek through that window. He may get spotted right here as we got Forbid abusing the prone glitch, but no first blood spotted yet. East peeking across mid. Won't be able to spot anybody, and Shield just chilling inside Wood, waiting for some info from his teammates. We will finally have the B site push from Fearless, and one player on the inside of that doorway. Rise is going to shut down Lazry really quickly. Will all by himself inside there. He's not going to stand much of a shot. The plant's going to go in right here. We do actually have a player coming in on the flank. Beetle's able to get a frag, but Steezy with a quick refrag, and with Forbid dropping Velo all by himself, it looks like the comeback might not be in the cards for Violence right now, as he's going to need a 1v3. I think he's actually going to get spotted through tires right there, and now the pressure's on. Steezy's going to be able to land the shots, and we do have a 2-0 victory coming in for Fearless, who prior to today has not had a whole lot of success, but just absolutely phenomenal plays out of them in both Hardpoint and Search and Destroy.
Yeah, you're not at all wrong, Bobby. I mean, that was a totally different Fearless than we've seen in the previous week. Shield had a phenomenal performance here for them as well. I mean, normally it's Lethal and Riots that we would see towards the top of the leaderboard. Today, all in the hands of East and Shield. Shield definitely really broke through, and the team it needed them to there. Trying to get the scoreboard or the leaderboards pulled up real quick. Do you have the scores available on where that moves them?
Yeah, so that will move them up to 30 points. That puts them only 20 points behind Violence. So the combination of them getting the 2-0 win alongside XSET getting minus 40 points as a result of their infraction, they're no longer in contention. Violence seemed to struggle a lot. If Fearless can manage to get a 2-0 on Thursday, they will be tied in third place and in a really good position to potentially allow themselves to make a run at a playoff spot, which prior to today had seemed relatively locked in for Violence, who hadn't had an amazing season so far, but seemed relatively uncontested, especially with XSET struggling and getting knocked down as far as they did. But Fearless looking like they are absolutely a contender for that spot, and it's going to be interesting to see how that will shape up as we move through the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And this coming up matchup is going to be really important as well. Obviously, Infinex acquired by NL. Maybe Zim can pop in and remind me exactly what the abbreviation is. Actually, it might be here on the sheet. No, I don't have it on my side. But obviously, Infinex in a pretty rough spot. They came off of a phenomenal Season 2 open season, struggled in the playoffs, came through a phenomenal Season 3 season, and then finished strongly, obviously, in the playoffs, reigning champions, and have been struggling not only against the other top teams, but against teams we expected Infinex to come through and really just walk over here. So, you know, one of the big things that they've really struggled with these past couple weeks is Cheto has been the top fragger for the team pretty consistently. And, you know, again, it's not me trying to say anything bad about Cheto. Obviously, he's a phenomenal player, and, you know, they're he's one of the reigning champions, so he has to be a great player. But a lot of the team has seemingly really struggled around him, because you don't want your primary sniper typically to be the player top fragging, specifically in respawn, which is absolutely what we have been seeing. We've definitely seen Tatio struggling quite a bit, Envoy and Yuji as well. Obviously, some team disagreements. I don't think we have Dante playing for them anymore. And Tempo actually struggling a little bit this season as well, not only with performance, but ability to get into some of the matches as well. It seems like we see Infinix playing with a different lineup every week. I mean, whether it's only a couple players or not, still not a lot of consistency out of them, which we've seen in previous seasons. So,
yep. It's definitely going to be some great matchups. Right now, we do have... Okay, I'm seeing people in stream saying that we're getting a Tatio raid. Next matchup...
Tatio raid!
Should be Nova Imperium versus Strike Zone. Unless I'm mistaken, so maybe... Oh, Strike Zone DQ. Gotcha. Sorry, I totally missed that. All right, so it looks like we do have Exiled versus NL Esports, and I totally missed that. Gotcha. Okay. Definitely going to be a good matchup. Exiled has been one of the contenders for. I mean, this is somebody that's been underperforming in Division 1, which has been weaker, versus somebody who's been performing above what they were expected to in Division 2, which has been a lot more exciting and close. So it's going to be really tough for Exile to break into one of those top spots, with Nova Imperium, Tribe, and Tragic all occupying those spots. As much as I would love to see Gravity or Exile break in there, it's just going to be really tough for any of them to do it, just because that's such a solid top 3 teams. It's not like we've seen from the struggles that we've seen from some of the Division 1 teams, but Tragic with their own mini all-star roster, obviously Tribe, the champions of North America for Stage 4, Nova Imperium with their own all-star roster, just a whole lot to contend with, and they're really, really, really going to need to make a big push. Exiled is to have any type of a shot right here, and even with their struggles so far this season, NL Esports is not the team that you want to be going up against, just because you know they've got so much experience. Even as they have struggled, any given night, any one of those players can really pop off and carry their team. So we'll see what they can do, but it's going to be really tough for Exiled.
It'll be a tough match for Exiled, but again, NL have been struggling, and Exiled have actually been performing kind of at their peak for the seasons that we've seen them in. I mean, obviously, Neji, Toph, Silo, phenomenal players over these past couple weeks that we'll have to keep an eye out for. Bear definitely having some big performances as well. I'd like to see Darky fill in this last spot and really round things off for the team. I think that would give them kind of their best chance here up against, again, even though NL had been struggling, this is still the reigning champions. This is still a team full of incredibly strong players. So really a whole lot could change here. It is End rounding off the matchup for Exiled here. Very likely going to be filling in that sniper role for them in Search and Destroy, so we'll have to see how he performs up against Cheto. Neji, though, really been popping off here lately, as well as, again, Toph has really been a breakout player here in Season 4 of Mobile Mayhem as well, so going to have to keep an eye out for a lot of these players that are really looking to push themselves. Coming into this week, we had Exiled, I believe, were at 60. I think they're at 60 points right now. So if they're able to pick up a win here, this would be really big, because that would put them above Gravity in Division B at this point, and it would only put them 10 points behind Tragic. So
Exiled's at 60 right now. So
Exiled is at 60 right now, but if they pick up a 2-0, that would put them at 80.
Yeah, if they get a 2-0, yeah.
Yeah, if they were able to pick up a 2-0 over NL here, that would put them at 80. So they could then be just 10 points behind Tragic with a couple weeks remaining of the open season. So Exiled, while they are a little bit low in the standings right now, they definitely still do have a path where they could be competing for top 3 of Division B.
Yep, for sure. It's going to be a great matchup to watch. First game is going to be Hardpoint on Crossfire, so one of the newer mode map combos. Lots of long rotations. With the map being as big as it is, a very good chance that we do see some respawn sniping happening, and that's actually a mode where we have seen Cheto really pop off in respawn. We'll see if N pulls out the sniper for himself, but this is typically a map that has a very different approach than most other Hardpoint maps, and that first Hardpoint is going to be an absolute mess. Typically that's going to be one of the determining factors of who does take that initial lead and who has the best shot at closing it out. But with that, we are good to go for the start of game number 3.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And in this matchup, this is one of the different hardpoint matchups specifically, as you mentioned, that first objective. A lot of first objectives we don't see too much progress from just because, it's typically the middle of the map. Both teams are going to get there and respawn in, essentially the same amount of time, be able to get sights on point. However, on Crossfire, it is upstairs in a room where you have some corners you can hide in and be kind of out of sight of the typical quick respawns. So definitely a lot of opportunity for things to be, a 30 or 40 point lead coming off of the first hard point if a team is able to get in and really lock it down. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And so far it is NL picking up a couple points, but very quickly goes back over in favor of Exiled, and things have been tied out.
And I like this move for Bear pulling out the chopper. He's going to get dropped off the start. But positioning right there with the chopper is such an advantageous thing because you got 100 bullets. You can basically wallbang through here as much as you want. And pretty good chance that eventually you're going to start landing shots on the opposing player on the inside of the hard point. He's not going to be able to reposition himself right now, so Yuji is actually going to be able to take him out right there, and NL looking really, really good off the start. We've not seen them have a strong start in a while, so this has got to be a good sign for NL fans as they're able to get some good time on the hill. It's going to be a 24-point lead as they head out. We are going to have End, as expected, pulling out the sniper right there, but he'll end up getting dropped by Cheto, who actually does not have a sniper of his own, and Neji on the inside of the hard point, putting in work to secure it all by himself. He's got teammates spawning all around. They're actually set up really well right now, and Yuji and Munoz are going to need a really good push right here to have any type of a shot at making this retake happen, and with the two-piece coming in for End right there, not going to be an easy retake.
Yeah, not at all. And again, Exiled have been playing exceptionally well despite struggling a little bit in the scoreboard. I mean, they're in a very, very competitive Division B, so definitely keep an eye out for some of the rotations here. Yuji actually having a strong double kill there for the team. Tatio will get dropped by Bear, but Envoy is there to back his team up. We do have a small lead developed here for the side of Exiled. Still anybody's game, as these next couple of hard points are kind of reminiscent of Hardpoint on Crash, where these next two hard points very, very difficult to break, very, very difficult regroups that would have to come together, as the respawns are incredibly punishing, as we see Envoy spawning all the way in the farthest corner he possibly could have got for a respawn. So a little bit of a rough situation for the side of NL there, who, as you mentioned, kind of started this round or this matchup off pretty strongly, and have definitely been shaken up a little bit by the aggression coming out of Exiled.
Yeah, Munoz actually picks up a double trip mine kill right there, and as expected, even though he started with an AR, Cheto makes that switch over to the sniper, especially on this hard point where you got a lot of players out in open angles and just a lot of exposed area. Had some really good opportunities. He's been able to pick up 5 kills. Yuji and Tatio already in double digits. That is what you love to see if you're an NL fan. And even though they haven't been able to manage much of a lead, this push by Envoy and Tatio up to the top side is actually going to set them up really well to give them a shot at getting a retake. Tatio's probably going to pull out his Annihilator pretty soon right here, and that could put him into a one-man wrecking crew. Unfortunately for him, Neji is going to be able to shut it down quickly, and his teammate Bear able to land the wall bang onto Envoy, and just like that, oh, Yuji's on site. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to make it happen either. 15 kills already, and Like expected, this is one of the toughest breaks that you will find in Call of Duty Mobile. They're trying to make it happen right now, but unless they call in some of those operators, it's going to be very, very unlikely. We do see Envoy pulling it out, but it will go to waste. Cheto trying to land some snipes, but it looks like Exiled in complete control of this hard point.
This has been a very, very close game. I mean, Infinix definitely struggling here in pockets, but they are able to find a little bit of a break here and there. They really just need to find some momentum and really run away with it, because as of right now, this is Exiled getting closer and closer to closing out this match. They will cross the 120-point mark on this hard point. They are now within one full hard point of a win themselves. And unfortunately for the side of Infinix right now, they're not. Infinix need a whole hard point and then some change if they want to win this one here. So definitely starting to actually performing a little bit better than we've seen him do in the past couple weeks, as well as Yuji. So that is kind of helping hold them in this game, in my opinion, as Tio does come through. I believe that was a quad we just saw him get there. Yeah, big quad coming out of Tio. So if they're going to catch a break, they need to do it off of this play.
And even though they're set up really well right now, a big mistake. Oh my gosh, Titio's just shredding this team. They made a big mistake at the start of this hard point. They had players set up all around, but there was nobody actually in the hard point. So there were 15 to 20 seconds that just completely went to waste for them. And with that, they're only going to be able to tie up heading out. And with Titio getting taken out from the inside of the hard point by Toph, that actually is going to open up even more of an opportunity right here for Exiled to potentially get the win, as they will head out of here. We got Cheto picking up kills, but they're up 25 points right now. Cheto's going to need some clutch wall bangs. Yuji actually able to get the push up in there. Titio's going to call in his cluster strike, so that'll make the rotations even more difficult. Finds another frag right there. He's going to go ahead, call in an advanced UAV. He's going to... Oh, that's actually a spectator glitch, but Neji able to get a little push up to the top side, trying to find those frags. He's not missed. He's just now hitting his first Annihilator shot. That is a lot of wasted shots and just some uncontested time on the hill, continuing to go to NL. They look like what was a mistake on P5 is not going to matter. We've got Yuji on the hard point. The time continues to tick upward. Only 4 more seconds needed, and they're able to avoid disaster, as it will just barely hit 150 as the final player drops, and they will get the win in game number 1, 150 to 132.
Yeah, and NL definitely needed that there. Titio, again, definitely came online where we haven't seen him doing so in these past couple of weeks. Had a really massive break for the team, picked up a quad with the Annihilator, ended that game 22, 11, and 14. So phenomenal performance out of Tio there. You know, nice to see them pulling through with a strong performance. Exiled, I mean, even though they ended up losing in the end, they put up a phenomenal fight, and moving into Search and Destroy, obviously, as we've seen today, it could go either way. There's a lot of opportunity for either of these teams to come out with some points. I think most excited to see End, well, at least what will very likely be End going up in that sniper position against Cheto, and then looking to see how Neji and Bear perform against the likes of Titio and Yuji moving into this next matchup as well.
Yep, apologies everybody. Another stream. For some reason, Trovo just crashes the stream completely. YouTube just showing the loading sign. But we should bounce back, and you guys do get to see the end of the game. Hopefully we can get that fixed soon. It hadn't been an issue much as of recently, but today we've had crashes galore. But we are getting ready to hop into our second game of the matchup. Search and Destroy on Standoff, and this is just one of my personal favorites. I don't know why. I just love watching Search and Destroy on Standoff, and we've had a great matchup between these two teams so far. I'm definitely expecting that will continue as we get ready to hop in right here, and you can see Sniper's out and pulling out the Locust. We've seen him sniping time and time again. He'll be going up against the likes of It looks like maybe Tatio. Oh no, he's got a KN out, and don't know why it was displaying as a sniper. Obviously, Cheto, typically the primary sniper, trying to land the initial wallbang. Not going to be able to make it happen right there. One player in the top side, Bear, gets shut down quickly, as it is going to be a first blood for NL. And Cheto looking like it might be another one of those games. Somehow he gets a hit marker right through the wall right there. Silo able to avoid the second shot, but Envoy slides in, and Cheto is in the flow state right now. Tough pushes through. He's able to get a frag for himself. He's actually able to get a two-piece right there, and just like that, Tatio's all by himself. He's got a sniper out as well, but going to be a tough 1v2 clutch despite the strong start for NL. He's got a concussion nade to work with and could potentially, with an AR in hand as well, make this happen, but he's going to need to play it very, very carefully. Does not spot the exile player to his right in Graveyard. Tough, going to get the plant down on the A site. Tatio is going to spot Neji around this corner, but not going to be able to land the shots. It will be a 1-0 lead for Exiled off the start.
Yeah, Exiled a big opening round there after coming back off of that loss, which, again, so heavily looked in their favor for a large portion of that last matchup of Crossfire. A excellent break from Tatio, and then a beautiful, beautiful rotation from UG. Were able to save it for NL in that first matchup. Exiled might be coming through with, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a revenge feel here, as, you know, again, that looked like it was their game in the bag for quite some time. So far, no first blood for second round. Munoz is able to survive with about 20 health there, so he will make it out just barely alive. You know, again, unfortunate a little bit for the side of Infinix. They have been seemingly unable to retain Dante and Tempo, who have been phenomenal players for them, so we'll have to see how that impacts them moving forward as well, and, you know, possibly if that's part of what has been impacting them so far this season.
Yeah, we're going to have first blood come in for Exile once again. Cheto just landing all the right snipes at the right times. That will slow down the push. The A-plant is going to go in for Toph right here. Spots end in the top side, does Cheto, but not able to land shots. And now 4 players remain for each team. Tries to land the shot over to top of Statue, but not going to be able to make it happen. 50 HP to work with. He's going to slide the corner, won't be able to find it, but it is Munoz finding a frag to give NL the advantage. Silo in the top of shops trying to take him out. And it's actually going to be an easy defuse coming in for NL despite 3 players alive for Exiled, and that'll allow them to tie things up at 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a really big opportunity for NL to kind of shift momentum again back in their favor, because I think Exiled answered back with a really strong first round coming off of that loss. So NL is showing us right now that it wasn't a fluke, specifically Cheto, obviously with 3 on the board for his team. Really strong and smart defuse coming out of them, as well as we do have a couple players getting traded back and forth there. But it is Neji picking up one on Tatio. Envoy answering back with a kill of his own. So far, 2 for 2. Still 3 players on each side. And just as I say that, 1, 2, 3. It's a Infinix win of that round.
Yeah, and they just seem to fall like dominoes right there. Is Infinix, a.k.a. NL, or NL, a.k.a. Infinix, starting to return to form. Search and Destroy previously had been one of their best, and Bear is going to land the jump shot onto Cheto right there. Shuts things down quickly, and that will allow them to open things up for the first blood as well. The A-plant's going to go in. Bear perfectly predicts on the pre-fire right there, and they are now up 2 players with the bomb planted. The pressure is on for Tatio and Munoz. Bear trying to land the DLQ shot around the corner. Munoz safely on the inside. We're going to have a ninja defuse out of Tatio. It's gonna go through times already in the 3 rounds for NL. They've managed to get a ninja defuse. He doesn't have a single kill on the board, but single-handedly winning the round right there. That didn't seem like it was gonna be manageable. And if you're Exiled, you just gotta do something to improve your management of the bomb site. If you're gonna get the plants that easily, you gotta do something to protect it.
Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong. I mean, there's no reason that NL should have got the previous 2 rounds. at least off of the fuse with 3 members alive still on the side of Exiled. I mean, that's rough. I mean, we saw it in the last matchup. I believe it was, Forbid was just kind of caught in a weird place when his team died. That's one player, like, not in the most ideal position. When you've got 3 or 4 people alive and a defuse goes through, there's not much you can say about that other than you really just messed up, so... They definitely can't give that level of free leeway over to the side of NL, but right now it's N alone up against the 4 remaining members of NL, that being Tio, Cheto, Yuji, and Munoz. This is very likely going to be a round 4 going over to the side of NL, who, again, have been struggling in these past couple weeks. Tio, once again, getting gunned down, but Yuji will be there to clean up the final kill. 4-1 for the side of NL.
And I do want to say the play that Tio made at the start of that round, the concussion that he threw in, and the prediction of exactly where the opposing team was going to be was just absolutely beautiful. Concuss both players that were going for the plant, takes out the planter, immediately afterwards knows exactly where the person guarding the planter is going to be. Quite a 2-piece out of him, and that does allow NL to get another easy round win. He's going to go for the plant right here as the bomb goes down onto A, and it will go in once again as they have seen, after the first round, just completely in control. Trying to find a frag right here. Envoy's going to find a 2-piece. Usually finds one for himself. Silo finally able to get a trade, but 2 players down, taking shots from Tio Toff. And we all by himself. Tio will shut things down quickly. And now a 5-1 lead for NL, as it does look like there's a very good chance they get the 2-0 win right here. But we've seen crazier things happen, as we did see in game number 1 tonight.
Yeah, and NL definitely needed this win here. I mean, they're currently at 60 points under the 120 of Fierce. NL so far this season, 4-3 wins for losses. So this is definitely a big one for them. That'll put them up to 80 points, and especially coming off of a Violence loss earlier. I mean, again, Violence were sitting just 10 points behind NL moving into today. So that'll be Violence picking up 0, NL extending their lead a little bit, giving them a little bit more comfort. It was a pretty long fall they would have had to suffer for Strike Zone to take over them in the 3rd place. So just again, kind of adding to that cushion, I do believe that has to play certainly at least some part of it, as well as Division B is super close as well. So we'll have to look forward to how important some of those matchups are. But right now, it is a 2 versus 1 in favor of NL, and they are very likely looking to close this out. But Neji absolutely could turn it around, but not if he's going to get gunned down by Tio there. Good rotation coming out of NL, 6-1. And again, I feel like a lot of that game really went over to, I feel like Exile just misplayed a lot of their defenses. You can't allow a bomb defuse to go through when you have 3 players alive. It's just, that's a rough way to go down if you are Exiled.
Yep, that is going to be an easy, well, I wouldn't say an easy 2-0 win. There are definitely some doubts about whether or not NL would be able to close out that hard point, but they had a really strong finish, and then just all the way through in search and destroy. Tio making the big plays, Envoy finding the frags. And yeah, we have yet to see a game 3 tonight. We are getting ready to hop into our final matchup, which is going to be Tragic versus Tribe. It's going to be an absolute beauty to watch. I'm looking forward to this one for sure, as these are 2 teams currently at the very top of Division 2, right by Nova Imperium, and this will have pretty big implications. Tribe Gaming could move up into first place if they're able to get the 2-0. Tragic could very well tie themselves for first place if they can get the 2-0. So lots on the line, and especially there's just going to be, one way or another, Tribe Gaming is going to be affected by the decision of Stage 5 being postponed. Either they're going to come out absolutely firing, angry at what happened and letting that fuel the flame, or they're going to be down on themselves and could have a really slow start, and we could see it impact them that way. I'm really interested to see what it's going to be. I really do hope they have that fire and they come out guns blazing, but we will have to wait and see, as we are getting both teams loaded in and we should be good to start our final matchup pretty soon here.
Yeah, and this is definitely a big one again. Tragic right now, while they are in third place and do have potential to tie for first place off of, well, at least in Division B, off of this matchup. Tragic is also just 10 points ahead of Gravity, who, I think if you're Tragic, fortunately, Gravity had to go up against the top team in the league right now, that being Fierce. So Gravity unable to pick up any points today, but still a lot of time left in this tournament. So definitely a lot of opportunity where Gravity could potentially pick up, 20 or 30 points in the next couple of weeks. And if Tragic are going to struggle, then, this is still a very, very close race. Obviously, Exiled as well, another team that's not too far behind. They're currently sitting 30 behind Tragic. Didn't have the best performance of the tournament today. Obviously, they went up against NL, the reigning champions, who also have been struggling quite a bit. So this was a big day for Exiled, and they kind of, I don't want to say drop the ball, because that is the best that we've seen NL play in quite some time. But Tragic, they're definitely in a tight race with both the upper half and the lower half of Division B.
Yeah, lots on the line and lots happening in all of these divisions. So it is starting to look like some of the top teams are solidifying themselves, and yet at the same time, some of these underdogs, like Fearless, making some noise and looking like they could make their way into the playoffs. Something else to keep in mind, we are going to have our first ever Mobile Mayhem All-Star Game on December 25th. You guys are definitely going to want to mark your calendars for that. There will be player-voted players in that. There will be audience-voted players in that. There will be content creator captains. It's going to be a blast to watch, and I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, just waiting for the rest of our teams to get loaded in. I see YouTube chat telling me to fix my audio. Let me see what the audio sounds like, because nobody on Trovo is saying anything about the audio, so I don't know. So lots on the line. So the audio sounds fine. If you're having audio issues on YouTube, just refresh the stream, because on my end it sounds perfectly fine. I do apologize for all of the stream crashes that we've had so far. I have no idea why they're happening, because we haven't dropped a single frame. It just seems like OBS randomly decides that it doesn't want to upload anymore. It just stops uploading for a couple seconds, and then it resumes, and then it stops, and then it resumes. So at this point, I don't know what to tell you, but hopefully we do get that fixed soon. We are currently just waiting for Tragic to get loaded in before we hop in to our final matchup of the night. I'm going to go grab a drink real quick, and then hopefully when I get back, we should be good to hop into our final game.
Yeah, this is going to be a short day for Mobile Mayhem today, obviously, as we had Xset get disqualified for reasons. And as well as, I believe, we had Strike Zone unable to participate today. So only 4 matches for you guys today. But we do have a phenomenal one to close out for you guys. Obviously, Tribe and Tragic, 2 of the top teams in Division B that has been super, super tight. This will be one that makes a really big difference. This either puts Tragic up 10 points above Tribe and tied with Nova Imperium, or this extends Tribe's lead and leaves Tragic a little bit in the dust. They would be Tragic would then be sitting below Nova Imperium as well as below Tribe, and barely hanging on to that 3rd place spot. So this is an incredibly, incredibly important matchup for Tragic here. Just got to get Tragic in here for you guys, and we'll be ready to get you guys into the matchup. Tribe, a team that definitely struggled in the past couple seasons, has really broken out strong here. Had some strong performances. They are sitting up at 6-1 leading in today, tied with Nova Imperium. As far as wins versus losses, I believe Nova Imperium have been given their 10 points for one of their DQ'd matchups as well, I believe. Is that right, Zim? They're sitting at 110 in the scoreboard.
Wait, what?
I don't have the... I was checking with Zim if that's 110 for Nova Imperium right now. Were they given... Yes, okay, so yes, he does say correct. So yeah, that's, you know, despite having a equal record here, you got to keep in mind that Nova Imperium only picked up 10 points because they won a bye week, basically. So Tribe being able to pick up a potentially 10 or 20 points here, if they were able to close out a 2-0 victory over Tragic, would be really big for them in the standings.
Yep. Somebody said something about a game being on Christmas. We're definitely not having a game on Christmas. Just want to clarify that. That's a Friday anyway, and we don't ever have games on Fridays, so nothing to worry about. We will actually be taking the week off for Christmas. If I'm not mistaken, and there's a very good chance I am mistaken, we have our finals the week before Christmas, and then the All-Star game the week after.
Works for me.
Yeah, Bobby said I'll start 12:25. Did I not say 12:29? Oh my gosh. I totally did not realize that I said that. My apologies. And apparently nominations for the All-Star game do go out on Thursdays, so like we said, we'll have some fan-voted players and some player-voted players.
Are we doing community vote this time?
I think it's going to be half community, half player vote.
Neat.
And, yeah. We do have our first Tragic player getting loaded in, so we should be good to go soon. This is, wow. Given what time we usually end Mobile Mayhem when we've got 5 teams playing, this feels very, very odd because last few times it's
right.
Gone to
We're usually
10 o'clock,
usually rolling well
10:15,
past 10 o'clock, right?
And it's 8:30 getting ready to hop into the final match. I'm not mad about it, given the amount of COD Mobile that I've played recently, but... does feel unusual.
Grinding out some Damascus over there.
I got platinum on my SMGs, platinum on my ARs. I think I'm 1 gun away for LMGs. I'm like 2 or 3 guns away for snipers.
Crossbow and COD Mobile.
We do actually have the announcement that Diamond is coming next update, so I'm like really trying to hurry up and get Damascus. I don't know if Diamond's going to have anything to do with Damascus, but assuming that it does.
I mean, so Diamond has, in previous Call of Duties at least, been in the same position as Plat.
Yeah.
Where you finish the whole weapon class. So that'll be interesting to see how they implement that one effectively.
Yep, it's there's some predictions that it's just going to be like a specific amount of kills with a certain gun. Some people think you're just going to get it like if you already have Damascus, then you're just going to automatically get it. I feel like that's unlikely, but at the same time, I have no idea what else to predict. So it could also be similar to like the Dark Ether or whatever, which I think you need to get 15 kills in 20 games or something like that. Splinter, who's to say I don't get bored? Chat keeps me entertained the whole time. Chat always keeps me entertained.
It looks like we are just waiting on Lil B and Chaos to get readied up, and we should be able to get you guys into this game. I know you guys are excited about it. This is, in my opinion, going to be probably one of the best matchups of the night. If we're going to have a game 3, it very likely would be this one. Albeit, there were some very close ones. Specifically, Gravity versus Fierce earlier was very, very close to going to game 3. As well as, for a minute there, it was looking like the Exiled and NL matchup might be pretty close as well. So, getting into game 3, we have Summit Hardpoint, which is going to be a very difficult one, I believe, for both of these teams to overcome. I feel like both of these teams have players that are phenomenal in their rotations for anchor. And this is a map that is so very dependent on getting those anchor spawns. So keep an eye out, especially along cliffside for those rotations over to hardpoint number 4. And it looks like we are going to get a little bit of a restart.
All right. Chat, I'm trying to figure out how you're just now realizing that I'm wearing a COD shirt when I've streamed 3 times today, and I've been wearing this shirt in every single one of those streams. So I don't know what y'all have been looking at, but I believe we've got a substitution incoming for Tribe, as it looks like Little B is going to be subbed out. Current rosters: Leon, Bolu, Tectonic, and Nero, plus 1 additional player going up against Space, A-Flows, Chaos, Soso, and Jez. And Little B's back, so looks like the same roster should be good to go momentarily.
Could have been a device crash or something.
Yep.
So, fortunately, happened right at the beginning. We'll be able to get them back into the game here pretty shortly, and we will be off for game 1 of our final matchup. And again, this is, in my opinion, very likely going to be one of the closer matchups we have for the night. Obviously, Tribe, a team that has struggled in the past, but come through with a incredibly strong performance so far this season. And Tragic, formerly Turbulence, which is kind of, again, like a mini MVP roster. It's all players that are very familiar with playing in Mobile Mayhem. Again, a lot of subs on this team that have, I believe, really made a name for themselves in the we shouldn't have been on the bench department.
Yep.
So, you know, gotta give them credit where credit's due. But we are into this matchup, and we've got the first hardpoint opening on up. Space making a very fast rotation over. Find some bullets onto Tectonic there. And we will have some trades back and forth. Space finds another one onto Tech again as he respawns. So it is going to be a little bit of space he's been able to make. But Tribe, they do have the high ground currently. May be able to make that rotation. Finds Bolu. Space with a incredible opening here for the side of Tragic.
He takes out Tectonic again right there. 3 frags onto the North America reigning MVP for COD Champs. And he is frying right now. 5 kills. 3 players on his team, still yet to pick one up, but in complete control right now as he's looking to shut down this rotation from Tribe into the hardpoint. Might find Tectonic again. He's not able to land shots right there. Leon very low. Will be able to survive for the time being, and pretty even time on the hill for both teams. Not too surprising to see. It will be a 6-point lead for Fierce off the start, as we do finally have Space dropping, and he'll now look to make this rotation as Little B off to a strong start himself. 5 kills on the board, hopping onto the hard point to get those initial points. The smokes will go out, and we will now have Tragic looking to make that rotation, but the perfect nade from A-Flows is going to open things wide up, and just like that, we've got Nero taking him out. Trades going back and forth. Nobody really in control right now. Bolu seems to have disconnected, an unfortunate thing for Tribe right now. We'll see if they can still put up a fight down a player, and it looks like he is back, and the fight begins once again.
Yeah, Tribe actually find themselves a big string of kills there. They are fighting over points on this second hard point. The first 2, we actually normally don't see a lot of one-sided control going one way or another, but so far it is a lead going over to Tragic, with Tribe picking up quite a handful of points themselves. It's these next 2 hard points that are incredibly punishing. Summit being a very narrow but very long map leads to some pretty heavy complications, and if you get a bad spawn and you don't have anchor, you're very likely just not going to make it back to that hard point with time for it to be worth it, especially since the rotations over across the map are, again, quite often on long paths with long sight lines that have a defender's advantage. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that, as we do have a really big anchor coming through for the side of Tragic. They're likely going to get a lot of points here on this hard point. It's not going to be enough for them to close out, But based off the performance they had on Hardpoint 1 and Hardpoint 2, even if Tribe are able to hold down 4th Hardpoint, there's a lot of opportunity that the side of Tragic could be set up for a win on the loop around, as we are going to have these final 15 or so points coming through for them here. That will put them in, I think, the 127, 128 point mark. So very, very close to a victory. Meanwhile, Tribe are struggling down at 33 points right now.
And despite that struggle, Tribe not in a terrible spot right now. We saw a lot of wasted operators for this Tragic team, so that's going to allow Tribe to set up really well for next hardpoint control. You can see Bolu holding down this back angle, and Little B with his Annihilator out, now pushing out, looking to take out a few additional Tragic players who are now going to struggle to make that rotation, especially without any operators available for them. The kills continuing to stack up for Tribe. Little B in double digits now, but not going to be able to win that gunfight. They're continuing to take upward and could push this within about 20 points if they're able to get the entire hold right here. Bolu trying to take out Soso on the bottom side. Here's the push from top side. Lasers coming out of Bolu, taking out Chaos, but it will be Soso pushing in, getting control for his team. It's not going to be enough time for them to get the win right here, but going to be set up really well for P1 whenever they do make this rotation. And Soso pulling out his Annihilator for the first time, trying to get a couple frags.
Yeah, and that's going to be 131 on the board for the side of Tragic. And again, they were able to win the better half of Tribe here on the first hardpoint. I believe between first and second, they were able to pick up well over 50 points, I think 55. So they've only got 19 to go. Right now, it is Tribe on the hardpoint space, making the rotation over. Can he find the gunfight? He's going to pick up one, or A-Flows is actually going to grab that one onto Tectonic there. A-Flows finds a second, and this very well might be Tragic closing out game one. And again, Tragic, they desperately need this win here. They are currently a little bit behind Tribe in the standings, but Tribe do catch a little bit of a break with just 8 points away for the side of Tragic. Make that 7 as they are starting to pick up some extra trickle as well. Tribe need to find something if they're going to save this one, but it does look like Chaos and Space picking up a kill each is going to give that first game over to the side of Tragic. But again, I have mentioned it before, this Tribe roster has gone from previously, pre-Mobile Mayhem, was a incredibly strong respawn team, and they have very much shifted into an incredibly strong search and destroy team as well. So this very well could go into a game 3 if Tribe are able to turn things around.
Yeah, and Tribe made some good pushes right there, but they were just not able to bounce back from the slow start that we saw out of them, especially with Tragic able to take control of spawns on that second, or the third hard point. We talk about that all the time on Summit Hardpoint, such a crucial point. And whenever that happens, it's just going to be really tough to bounce back. We saw them try to make a couple pushes from the front side, but almost never going to happen up against a solid team like we have in Tragic right now. And unfortunately for them, it will be a game 1 loss. But like you said, they have been really good in search and destroy lately. We will be playing on firing range, which is definitely one that they've got a lot of experience in. So we'll see if they can bounce back and push this to our first game 3 of the night. Just waiting for our players to ready up, and we should be good to go. Just a reminder, we have implemented weapon bans, so each team allowed to ban 1 weapon. Tragic banning the chopper, Tribe banning the HVK. We'll see whether or not... I mean, obviously the HVK ban came into play. Probably not a whole lot of factor for the chopper, but typically on any firing range game, you will tend to see some choppers in play. So those being eliminated could potentially be a factor. Just waiting for one player to ready up, and we should be good to go for game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be an exciting matchup. I would really like to see this pushed into a game 3 because obviously Tragic has been an exceptional team for Respawn, but Tribe have been an exceptional search and destroy and domination team as well. So a game 3 could be incredibly exciting between these two teams. Just waiting on Chaos to ready up at this point. That last matchup, I mean, if you looked at the kill scoreboard, it was actually pretty close in that aspect. So I do think there's you know, again, I would lean towards Tribe a little bit as far as Search and Destroy goes, but you know, Tragic obviously showing that they can come up against this A-list Tribe with winning the gunfights, so that could definitely toss things up a little bit here. Space has obviously been having a pretty strong performance. Chaos as well had some great plays in that last game, so this is going to be a big matchup for tonight.
Definitely. But we are good to go. I believe we actually saw an Arctic 50 ACOG right there. Space has been using that quite a bit recently. He's going to spot one player, won't be able to land the initial shot. The Thermite going out, and the aggression from Tribe coming in handy right now, as we do see what was going to be an easy plant. Not able to go through, but they're up 2 players right now. Nero's going to be able to get it to go down. Tectonic with the sniper in hand, something we've seen him do quite a bit as of late, and now trying to watch that back angle. Soso and Aflow is going to need to make a push right here. Aflows is going to be able to win the gunfight, but it will be Bolu taking out Soso. Aflow is left by himself, a 1v3 with the bomb down. Not a great spot to be. He won't land the shots onto Bolu. And like we expected, Tribe coming out very strong right here with the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and I would expect, again, Tribe to have the advantage in Search and Destroy over Tragic, which is why I'm so excited to hopefully see a Game 3 between these two teams. Because, again, Tragic has been an exceptional respawn team that has definitely struggled a little bit in the Search and Destroy department. And Tribe, you know, again, struggles a little bit in the Hardpoint department, but does exceptional in the Search and Destroy and in the Domination department. So we'll have to see how that matchup goes out in game number 3. We did have Jez barely making it out with his life there. Had a player advantage just momentarily for the side of Tragic, but now it's a 3 versus 3. Leon will escape with his life there, as well as Chaos, and still anybody's game. Aflows and Soso, though, pick up 2 for the team. Now a lonely Nero who had led Tribe in the kills, I believe, in that last matchup, or at least in the score. But a 1-1 now between Tragic and Tribe.
Yeah, Nero struggling to hit some shots right there and actually making the switch back to the Type 25, which we've seen be kind of his go-to gun recently. Interestingly enough, not really a meta gun, but sometimes comfort reigns over meta, and we'll see if that continues to be. He actually makes the switch back to the DRH, gets his first frag of the game. Will spot Chaos over the head glitch, can't make the shots happen. Leon's all by himself. He gets shut down quickly. And what looks like what's going to be a strong Tribe start has very quickly turned over to the side of Tragic, and Tribe kind of struggling to get their bearings right now. Typically, the aggressive approach has worked really well for them, but not working quite as well these last couple rounds, and now they will sit back, play for frags. Little B able to pick up first blood onto Jez. Tectonic with the sniper in hand, trying to take out a player inside of Trailer, and with a concussion nade going out right here, could open up an opportunity onto Space as well. It won't land, so still going to have to wait and see. Space is going to find the first frag for Tragic onto Little B, and just like that, completely removes any advantage that Tribe had, and they're now going to look to find another frag right here to see if they can potentially even things up.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an incredibly important matchup for these two teams. Even if it was to go to a round 3 or round 3, and one of these teams is only able to pick up 10 points, that's an incredibly important 10 points, because right now Nova Imperium, thanks to their bye, have been sitting up at 110 over Tribe, who are sitting at 100, and over Tragic, who are sitting at 90. So Tragic, if they're able to pick up the 2-0 here, they will tie Nova Imperium for first place. Now, granted, again, both of these teams either way are going to be in top 3 still, so they still have their playoffs spot secured, at least for so far. There's a lot of bragging rights between these two teams, as well as, again, for Tragic, if they're not able to pick up points here, I think they're only a day's worth of games ahead of the number 4th place team. So we will have to see. Space and Aflows pick up 2 there for the team. And it's going to be Space picking up the final kill as well. That's Tragic now up 3-1 over Tribe. And this is not what I would have expected. But, man, Space really doing work with the ACOG here.
Yeah, and Tribe just seems to be a little bit lost right now. And honestly, this is what happens when Tribe is forced out of their traditional playstyle. Most of the time we see them being very aggressive like we see right now, making the push through mid, through smoke right there. It doesn't really end up paying off as they come through down a man, but Tectonic's able to find a frag onto space. He's been one of the biggest issues that they've had so far. And honestly, Tribe's got to like the position they're in right now. Chaos is able to take out Leon and get the trade right there. But with Tectonic and Bolu alive, a great spot for them to be. Soso is able to find the frag onto Tectonic, but Bolu is perfectly positioned, very nearly gets the two-piece, slides the corner, not able to take out Soso quite yet. He's going to go for the hop-up, but Soso now making the reposition over toward Wood right here, and going to see if he can land some shots over toward the A site. Bolu's going to need to pick up that bomb at some point to make this clutch possible, and Soso rounds the corner. He's going to have the ping advantage, and with 4 HP, he wins the gunfight. And Tragic, looking like, even though they had a rough Thursday last week, they did not play well at all, but putting up a big fight up against Tribe Gaming, who is currently in second place in the most competitive division in Mobile Mayhem. We'll see if they can continue to make this happen and potentially close this out in a 2-0.
Yeah, and again, that would be huge for Tragic, because that would put them all the way up from 3rd place into tying for 1st. So that's a pretty big jump for them. That would also bring Tribe down, who were tied for 1st, to 3rd place. So we will have to keep an eye out for these next couple rounds. Right now, Tribe have appeared to have stabilized out a little bit, as they do have a 2-player advantage over the side of Tragic. Aflows and Jez were dropped this round. Tectonic, being the main sniper here for the side of Tribe, has definitely shaken things up quite a bit on the side of the Tribe roster. Previously, we would have seen just Lilby filling that role, but they've both really taken to it, and Lilby finds one, but shortly after gets dropped by Chaos. Nero answers back, and now it's a lonely Space, who's unable to find the kill he needs to survive, and that's going to be now 4-2 as Tribe are able to clutch up a little bit there.
And Little B hits the Arctic 50 ACOG drop shot right there. That's not something that I've ever seen come into play before, but if he can make it work, then good for him. We see Tribe very aggressive on the defensive side right there. Little B making it work once again. Finds the first blood. Tectonic finds one onto Space as well. Leon will drop, but it'll once again be Tribe with a man advantage, and Jez has the bomb in hand, looking to make the push over toward the A site. Nobody spotted on the back side of the wall right there, and with teammates securing the site, they should be able to get the plant right here, but we do see Tribe players looking to make the counter. Little B looking over toward the site, the plant going in right here. Chaos super exposed. Little B is going to get an easy frag right there. Because he's got the stopping power in the Arctic 50, the foot shot will be a kill shot. Soso's going to slide the corner, but he's in a 1v3. He's got players all around. Nero's going to land the Molotov. It'll be another round going in for Tribe Gaming. That's going to be 2 in a row, and they're starting to look a lot better as they're seeming to find their comfort zone a tad bit, and potentially looking to make this comeback happen against a Tragic team that looked really, really good off the start.
Well, and we do have to consider that we have switched rounds, so it is now Tragic who are on the offense, so part of that could be playing with it, and you know, it's kind of the opposite of what we would normally expect, right? We would expect the team that has the bomb to be able to have the advantage of being able to rotate with your whole team, despite not having the defensive setup that you would have on defense. And Tribe have just been playing exceptionally well on defense in Search and Destroy. They're now within 1 round of tying this up. And they are 3 rounds away from pushing us into a game 3. And again, even if it's only 10 points, the 10 points could make a huge, huge difference in how these standings look.
Yeah, and the big thing about the 10 points is it doesn't really matter. Like, when it comes to the 2nd and 3rd place spots, there's no advantage to being 2nd place over 3rd place. It's
something that Tribe had obviously been building up there for themselves, as Soso is also able to find a kill onto Leon. Now a 5-2 advantage for the side of Tragic. Space does get hit markered, but he will survive. So Tectonic gonna have to place that shot a little bit closer to the chest as Soso finds one onto Bolu. This is starting to look like Tragic are going to put themselves into match point territory.
And So having himself a round right now, moving up to 9 kills already. The pressure is on for Tectonic and Nero. It's going to be really on for Tectonic, who needs to find a first blood right here. Probably should have made the pistol swap a little bit sooner, and sending out the Thermite to try to slow the push is actually perfectly placed. Knew exactly what he was doing. He's not going to be able to hit shots onto space. He's in a 1v4. He's going to get wallbanged by Jez right there. And it will be Tragic finally able to pick up a round, and we could very well see them close things out right here. It's going to require a brilliant play from Tribe to keep things alive, but they've been really good on defense so far. We'll see if that will continue, as we see them now getting very aggressive over on the defensive side, and 2 frags coming in early. That is a great sign for them. We've seen the remaining players for Tragic making the push over toward the B site, but no doubt Tribe ready for that plant to go in. They're at a 2-man advantage, and they've got their utility ready to go. I don't think they've really used any of it so far, and more than likely, this is the setup that they were looking for. We'll see if they can make it happen. Leon's going to pull up the sniper and the AR right here. Concussion's going in. Little B finds one. Soso's able to get the trade onto him right there, but he's not going to be able to stop Leon, and now only 1 player remaining in Jez, who's on the backside of Tires, not able to land shots. That's going to leave 2 players knowing exactly where he is. Shooting bodies is Bolu right there. The defuse is going in, and this is definitely going to be a spicy round 11.
Yeah, this either could be the photo finish for Tragic, or it could be the miracle push into game 3 for the side of Tribe that they desperately needed, because this was looking like it was going to be a Tragic game as well, as it went up to 4-1. But, you know, again, we've said it right from the beginning of today, where Gravity were able to push Fierce all the way into a round 11. We're now back in that situation, and Tribe definitely need to play it smart here. They need this win to push us to a game 3, because, again, even 10 points at this point could put Tribe tied with Nova Imperium, or even losing in the 3rd match would at least mean they don't drop down into 3rd. They would be then tied with the likes of Tragic. So no matter what happens here, Tribe, if they want their points to be in a good standing, they need to pull off a win in this round.
Yep, and no first blood yet. 50 seconds in, both teams playing very passive, and it looks like we will likely see a B push here for Tribe, but as they scout out the bottom area, actually making that rotation back up to the top side. Space trying to find the first blood with that Arctic 50. ACOG hasn't been able to make it happen yet. Very good chance he's got an angle right here, as we do see Tribe pushing the backside. Smokes are going to go in. Nero on site. He's going to get the plant, but it will be Space getting first blood. Leon gets a trade. Pulling out the Arctic, or the HS2126. Couple players will drop for Tribe, but the same will happen right here. Leon not able to land shots onto Jez, though. He's so weak, but Tectonic's by himself. Lands a shot. Hits the 2-piece. He only needs 1 more, but he can't make it happen. So close to the miraculous 3-piece 1v3, but unfortunately for Tectonic, it's going to be Jez winning the gunfight. He slides in, gets the defuse right there, and it is going to be a 2-0 win for Tragic. An absolute must-have for them, and just a painful way to lose for Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tectonic stepped up to the plate so big for Tribe there in that last round. That was almost such a huge 3v1 clutch. But instead, unfortunately for him, Jez was able to pick up that kill with time to get the defuse. And that is going to be Tragic now, tied for first place with Nova Imperium. And that will bump Tribe all the way down to 3rd place now with 100 points. That's first/second is currently a tie for 110. So again, just goes to show how close Division 2 is. But fortunately for Tragic, that does bump them up a little bit above, I believe it's Gravity was sitting just behind them.
Yep.
At 70. So Gravity obviously no longer 20 points away from tying for 3rd. So that does shake things up a little bit for Division 1. And it sets up for a pretty intense Thursday couple matchups that we should have as well.
Yep. Those are your standings as of right now. As you can see, two very different stories. The tight Division 2 up against the very widespread Division 1. Definitely looking forward to see what Thursday will hold for us. But that is going to be it for tonight's stream. I appreciate everybody watching, coming to hang out. As always, a blast casting with Day, and this has just been an absolutely chaotic season. I'm looking forward to seeing how it finishes. That's going to be it for the stream, though. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to drop a follow, like, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. We'll be back same time, same place, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you guys then. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.